Yes, guys, what's up? And welcome to the first episode of All Good Things. I'm your host, Jason Nash. This is my very own podcast. I am so excited. Thank you guys for all the support that we've seen already on YouTube and Instagram with the trailer. Some of you have already seen the episode on my website, the new website, thenashnation.com, where you can get the podcast episodes early. And we're very excited to have you guys on board. Got a lot of plans for the show, got some great guests coming up. And what I'm most excited about today is that we have two sponsors for the first episode. I am shocked. These are two sponsors that have been with me for a long time. The first one is SeatGeek. Of course, we all know SeatGeek. It is the best ticketing app out there for concerts, for stand-up, for live sporting events. Guys, I'm a huge proponent of getting out there, putting your phone down, and going to see a live show, especially in the summertime right now. I've seen so many shows with SeatGeek. I take my kids to shows all the time. Probably my best memory at a concert was when I took my 13-year-old daughter for her birthday. I got her tickets to Tyler, the Creator. And she turned to me right before the show started and she goes, I just want to let you know, I might be swearing tonight. She's like, I'm probably going to swear a lot. And I was like, all right, that's cool. Yeah. It was really the most magical night. He was a great performer and I was a real hero that night. So if you want to be a hero, if you want to have good memories, go download the SeatGeek app right now. And if you download it and use my code Jason, you get $20 off your first order. So go check out SeatGeek. The second sponsor is a company called Hubi. I've been friends with these guys for a long time. They were the ones that got 50 Cent to play David's House a few months ago. Basically what Hubi does is they put all your links in one place. So on your Instagram bio where you have your link, I have mine there and you can see it. Here it is right here. And for me, Hubi is awesome because I'm doing so many things right now. I'm doing the website, Nash Nation. I'm doing the video version of All Good Things. I'm doing the audio version of All Good Things. And so what I love about Hubi is it has all your links in one place. And unlike other websites that help you put your links, Hubi's interface is the best. It is number one. As you can see right here, look at all the thumbnails. Everything looks bright. Everything looks colorful. It gets people excited right away about what you're up to. Go check out Hubi. Go to the link in the description right now. It's who.be. Go check them out and sign up for Hubi. It's absolutely free. My thanks to both sponsors for coming on. This is incredible. So here we go. Here's my interview with Dave Portnoy out in Montauk, New York. Enjoy our first episode of All Good Things.
At one point, I had every Justin Bieber tattoo on my body. So it's like...
What do you mean?
I had a Bieber obsession.
Is it too late now to say sorry? 'Cause
Guys, what's up? I can't even believe I'm here. I'm in Montauk, New York.
Correct.
You gotta go slow, Dave. This is so much for me.
Why is that?
First episode of my podcast, and I'm here talking to you.
I'm a strange first guest for you, I'd say.
You think?
I think so.
But to me, you were like the one person who's fascinated me.
Okay.
Because like we're similar in age.
Yep.
I'm older, obviously. I'm 49, so
Yeah.
you're not. You still got.
I got a couple of years, but we're the same demo.
I remember 45. 45 is good.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I think I'm 44.
What do you work out?
No, not at all.
You don't?
No, not even a little bit.
That's because you were a baseball player. It stuck
Well,
with you.
Yeah, no, my shoulder's really screwed up, so I can't do anything. I looked at, but I'll try to start working out. When I say workout, like mixing like 10 push-ups maybe a day. That's like a workout for me.
You seem trim in the pizza videos. I look at you in the pizza videos and I go, guy looks so trim. How does he eat so much pizza?
Yeah, so I was fat. I was fatter in my mid-20s. Then we moved to New York.
Yeah.
And I started walking a lot.
Yeah.
And I started doing Adderall. And Adderall will kill your hunger.
Yep.
So that helped me lose a little weight, but I am putting it back on now.
Okay. And how'd you get off the Adderall? What was the downside of the Adderall?
Who said
Oh, got it.
I never said I stopped doing the Adderall. To go out at night, I need to do it. And if I have this podcast, we're doing it on Monday. It's Memorial Day, so it's a chill day. A lot of times, like when I film a lot, I'll do Adderall, so my brain's popping.
Right. You're somebody that I see, and I'm like, they say that thing where they're like, he doesn't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And they say that about people. And usually when somebody doesn't give a fuck, it's like a bad thing. But for you, you truly don't give a fuck. And I think that's why I asked you to do this.
I care about like the people that I care about, what they think, but it takes a lot for me to care about your opinion.
Right.
And yeah,
Whose opinion do you care about?
I mean, like my family.
Mm-hmm.
Silvana's over there, hers, like the people I've known a long time. Like,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I value your opinion, it doesn't mean I've always said I view things like the Family Feud. You know, when you're like they play the Family Feud and you have one guy who's at the head of the guy who gives the answer.
Yeah.
And before he gives the answer, everyone shouts out what they think it is.
Uh-huh.
I like the input, but that doesn't mean I'm going to go with it. Like, I'll still trust my own opinion.
Right.
Yeah, but no, I don't care what people who don't like me or I don't know think about me at all.
Right. And you don't worry about it. It doesn't keep you up at night.
No,
It's amazing.
No, most of it doesn't. Correct.
Right. And so you started out, I watched 3 Barstool documentaries to get ready for this.
Okay.
You started out, you had an idea, you got out of college, you were an education major.
Correct.
Were you ever going to be a teacher?
No.
Never.
So at Michigan, I went to Michigan,
Which is a good school.
yeah, it's a good school.
So did you have good grades?
I had decent grades. I snuck in the back door. I applied to their liberal arts,
Uh-huh.
got rejected, and they said I would make a good nurse. And so they're like, you've been accepted into the nursing program.
Yeah.
I think there's just a shortage of male nurses in the country at the time.
Right.
And my sister went there. I'm like, hey, I got into the nursing school. If I go, can I just transfer out of it right away? She's like, yeah, absolutely. So I went as a nurse. So I backdoored my way in.
Never wanted to be a nurse. Never could do that.
Never. In education, I had to switch to because I couldn't pass my language,
Uh-huh.
and you needed a language requirement in liberal arts. Education, you did not.
Uh-huh.
So I just kind of snaked my way through to graduate.
And then you get out of school and you had 3 ideas. You had the Barstool idea,
Yeah.
a furniture business.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
The Next Step Scouting. It was like a scouting agency for Division III athletes, basically. Division II. Ones who weren't getting like big scholarship offers,
Right.
but still want to play sports in college, and a coach still wants to, have a good team. You got to remember, this is like Internet 1.0.
Right.
So it was early Internet, and it was a database to connect like those athletes with the coaches, basically. So
Uh-huh.
I think it actually would have worked.
I mean, now it would have worked too because now they're paying college athletes.
Totally.
Now
Totally.
it really would have worked.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty confident that would work. But yeah, I always knew I wanted to try my own thing. So those are the 3 ideas.
It's awesome. And
Yeah.
then you settled on a newspaper when newspapers were not doing so well.
They were dying. So it was basically a gambling newspaper.
Yeah.
And I always gambled my whole life. I was interested in it. I talked to a bunch of offshore casinos. At the time I started the newspaper, the internet was like flooded. You go to a gambling site, there's like fireworks and pop-ups. It looks like you're getting your credit card information stolen, basically.
Right.
So a lot of casinos were like, we don't want to be online. If you give us just a gambling newspaper, we'll advertise in it. So I sold the advertising like for a year before the newspaper launched, which gave me some leeway to figure out what I was doing, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then what really hit for Barstool was when you put girls in the magazine.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yeah, it is. So
Just
we're-
Boston models.
Yeah, like, it was like Maxim. It was like a localized Maxim, basically. Full page. It's the only professional thing we did. We'd have a local girl do a full-blown photo shoot, hair, makeup, and she'd grace the cover of the newspaper. And that's really how people started to know us, sort
Right.
of. Like our first advertising were all the beer companies,
Yeah.
and their philosophy was, we knew where all the pretty girls were. You get the pretty girls to a bar, guys are going to go to the bar. We should be advertising there. So that's kind of how it launched.
Wow. Guys, I'm trying a passion fruit. You want one?
My favorite. Yeah. Passion
is
fruit's
it?
my favorite. It's, yeah.
Okay, guys, we have 12 high noons here, all different flavors.
Passion fruit's my favorite.
Okay, Dave says to try passion fruit. Let's go.
Everyone has different, and you got, this one was warm. because
Oh,
it was
yeah,
in
yeah,
my
yeah.
garage.
This is great.
These are the best. Like, people, obviously, I'm a high noon guy, but
Is that your company?
so I'm like the face of it, basically. That started with do that story quick. So people were starting to approach me. This is like the seltzer boom. They're like, hey, would you do a seltzer with us? Do you want equity in it? Do a partnership?
Dave, this is fucking great.
It's the best. The best part about it is anything you like push or hawk or shill is when the product's great. If you like, it's the best. Like, I would do a blind taste test with High Noon versus anybody, and they'd probably win.
You gotta try this.
They're great. I'm not lying, right? No, High Noons they are more expensive because
What's it sell for a 24?
I don't even know. I don't think they do 24 packs, but
Can you get it?
this is
in LA?
turning into an ad. But the reason is it's
I don't give a
actually
fuck.
vodka soda. Like, if
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
other guys are beer, like truly White Claw, Happy Dad, they're all beer. So they put chemicals into it to make it look. This is like in New York, for example, you can't buy beer and liquor at the same spot.
I'm laughing because I've seen you so many times, like on
This is the real thing.
on TikTok, and you're like, I've had a couple of nooners.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna have some more.
I've
And
invented
like,
the nooner.
and I get it. 'Cause, yeah, I could have. I don't even drink because I'm Jewish. You know,
I don't know what that means. I'm Jewish as well.
don't Jewish people not drink?
I guess maybe
it's just
some
my family.
don't. I don't.
Are you like full Jew?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
But-
I'm half.
What are you, pizza bagel?
What'd you say?
Like Italian Jew?
Yeah, I'm a pizza bagel.
Yeah. That's what it's called. You've never heard that?
I'm literally too old to fucking laugh anymore. I fucking hurt my side. Is that what it's called? A pizza bagel?
Yeah, if you're Jewish and Italian, yeah.
You miss Boston?
Yeah, big time.
You're
Love
so
it.
Boston.
I love it. I've been going back because of Celtics.
That's I think that's your quality that is probably the best thing about you.
Being from Boston? Is
Yeah.
that like an actual quality?
No, it's like you've retained your everyman status. Like even when you were in the airport the other day bitching about your flight being canceled, like even though you're rich, you're still like the common man.
Yeah.
It's a nice little trick.
A lot of people may not agree, but I'm just been honest with the whole journey. Like I started Barstool, and the intent was not for anyone to know who I was.
35-year-old David Portnoy comes to work in a tank top. His headquarters is in this dingy office outside Boston that looks more like a messy college dorm.
So it was really.
Did you write?
Yeah, I
Oh,
did
you did?
everything. Yeah, I had in the original newspaper.
But
people
under a
still have
pseudonym,
it.
right?
There's 15 different names. They're all me. Like I had aliases. I didn't want people to know I was doing marketing, sales, writing, all of it. But it was started as a business. It was not started for me to be a personality. But as it developed, the stories that were hitting and things people were interested were far more like me and the personalities as opposed to the sports. So we just started including more of us. But again, when I started the internet, there was no Facebook. There's no TikTok. There's no Instagram. So, I mean, things were just very different, you know?
Yeah. And you knew it would take off, right?
No, I had no idea. It was a slow grind. I mean, I probably...
And you knew the internet would take off. Maybe not your thing.
Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, we're just quick to change. Like,
When did you start doing pizza reviews?
about 7 years ago. So that, again...
Oh, that was kind of later then.
Yeah, and it was
I thought-
totally organic. It was myself and Big Cat, who's a big personality with us, got in a debate, like if you could eat one food the rest of your life, what would it be? He said burritos, I said pizza. We did it for like a month. That's all we ate, breakfast, dinner. And I was eating so much, people were like, is it any good? And I'm like, I don't know, I'll do one bite and score it. I could tell pizza it resonated.
Pizza kills on my channel.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Every time.
Yeah.
I always tell them that. I'm like, we got to do
Food.
pizza.
Food in general is like such a big category,
Yeah.
but the pizza thing,
You know, my kids, they only know you from the pizza. I told them I was coming here. I'm like, I'm going to do Dave Portnoy. And they were like,
I'm known
the pizza guy?
a lot of different ways. Pizza, Barstool, people
kinda
recognize
nice.
Fox, people BFFs. It's like I can generally tell when I see somebody how they're going to know me before they even say anything.
Were people baffled when you did BFFs?
People who know
there
me
backlash?
know. People who know me know. They're like, because that's what I do. It's like, I mean, I used to, I at one point I had every Justin Bieber tattoo on my body. So it's like,
What do you mean?
I had a Bieber obsession, and it was like content. So anytime he made a new music video, I mimicked it, like in my style.
Uh-huh.
I used to like blog about the hills and I was Justin Bobby for Halloween back in the day.
Wow.
So people who know me, it's like Dave will do anything for page views and staying relevant. TikTok was a way to stay relevant. Like TikTok was a new thing. I didn't come up with it. They approached me. It was
Bruin.
yeah.
I remember they approached me.
Gruen's one of the all-time
Should have fucking did it.
mysterious humans of all
I
time.
was just at
I love him.
I
but
was
he's
just at
crazy.
Craig's with him.
I almost spit up. Of course you were at Craig's with him. He's always at Craig's. So yeah, basically what happened, if I recall, something with Little Huddy and not Dixie, Charlie DeMeo broke onto Twitter. It
Right.
like moved onto Twitter,
Right.
and it was going crazy. And I just tweeted like, "Who the fuck are these people?"
I remember.
And Gruen reached out. He's like, "Hey, Josh will explain to you if you want to do an Instagram live with you what is going on." And we just, all right. I'm like, fine. I don't really know who Josh is, but let's do it.
Yeah.
And we clicked. And then after that, it's like, all right, let's try to do something else together.
I think that's pretty awesome because, you know, a guy who's like a sports guy, you know, would have like an attitude about it. They'd be like, no, I'm not going to fucking go talk to some 19-year-old pretty boy TikToker. Like, that's not who I am.
You're always surprised doing this. Like we got along really well. I just talked to him earlier. Like, that reminds me, like, Food God's one of my favorite people I've met doing this.
Yeah.
And he's somebody that if you're like, Dave, are you going to get along with Food God? I'd be like, fuck no. He seems like the biggest douchebag in the world. But
Right.
I love him. I think he's hilarious down to earth. So you never know. I don't judge people. I'll try. Hi, Brody.
Okay,
I'll try anything.
I'm doing black cherry now.
That's my least favorite. They have taste profiles. They're generally like connected. I forget what they were. My three, I go passion fruit, pineapple, watermelon. Those are my top three.
What happened with baseball? Why didn't you go pro?
Shoulder injury.
When did you get that?
I've had a bad shoulder my whole life. I
Did
heard
you pitch?
No, I was an outfielder. But no, I
But you were good. You won state champs.
Yeah, no, we were good. I was good. I was
Yeah.
good by
Were you
people.
the best on the team in the state champs?
I batted third.
You've had third. Okay.
That should tell
So
you
the second
everything
best.
you need to know. Yeah, no, we were good. I was good in high school. People don't believe me. I mean, I'm old and out of shape. I retired from sports because it's embarrassing now. But yeah, no, I was a pretty decent athlete.
I used to work at WBZ in Channel 4 in
Yep.
Boston. I was an intern there. I used to do the assignment desk, and I was really into sports.
Yeah.
When I was little, I knew everything. I knew Sox, Celtics. I met Dwight Evans when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I met Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, my
Larry
favorite.
Bird's like an all-time guy for me to meet.
Larry,
He's probably like one on the list.
did you watch the Showtime show?
I haven't yet
The
because I
HBO
couldn't
show?
get it to work. We just moved back here and we were in a rental house. I couldn't figure out how to get Showtime.
Yeah, the HBO
it's HBO, right?
HBO Max, yeah.
Yeah. That's why.
My
what's his
father had
face?
that problem because he doesn't have a 4K Apple TV.
The house I was in was a joke, so there was a lot of issues. That was just one of the many.
Telling you
ones.
unnecessary things about my father that I deal with. He'll call me about his Apple TV. Anyway,
It sounds like my dad a little.
but then I did acid when I was like 21.
Never done acid.
Okay, well, I did acid, and then I woke up the next day, and I didn't like sports anymore.
Just like that.
Yeah,
That's wild.
yeah, it was wild.
I guess I'll never do acid.
No, don't do acid. But yeah, I was really into it, and then now when I watch a
Acid.
game, I go, why? It's hard for me to care.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, bet on it. Then you'll care.
Right,
maybe.
if you bet on it, yeah.
I mean, I care very much. I'm still like a huge Boston sports fan.
Black cherries is okay. You're right. It's a little Robitussin-y.
That's black cherry in general for anything, I feel like.
You think?
Yeah. I saw you did go ooh when you saw black cherry, so I thought
I mean,
you'd
I
like
love
it.
black cherry. I love a Dr. Brown's black cherry.
Yeah, see, I don't like black cherry anything.
What's your take on digital menus when you go into the restaurant?
What do you mean?
Well, we were saying today,
Like because of the COVID, when you like scan it with your phone, you mean?
well, just take COVID out of it. Yeah, you got to scan with the phone.
Right.
Then we sat down.
No, I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
No, but I only thought that was a COVID thing.
I guess it is a COVID thing, but
Yeah.
we sat down today. We went to the Pancake House in town in Montauk. And
Oh, how was that place?
it was great.
Busy?
Really busy.
Never been there.
Have I even said we're in Montauk?
Yes.
We're in
Started
Dave's.
the whole show.
Oh, did I?
Acid. Yeah. It's definitely how you started.
Oh shit, Dave! I'm having a flashback.
Can't even believe I'm here. I'm in Montauk.
So I watch you, and I'm like, man, this guy's great. He's got a lot of money. Why do you keep doing it? Like, you have enough money.
No, I don't. So, I mean, yes, I do.
You
but-
sold Barstool.
Yeah, I sold
twice.
twice, correct. I sold it in 2016, 51% of it to a group called Chernin Group
Right.
out in LA. And then the remaining part was sold about 2 years ago to Penn National Gambling Company because they legalized sports
I
gambling.
bought Penn because of you.
Good. I would have said I would have been way better like last year at this time, probably. It's the entire market's kind of trash, but including Penn.
I did. I bought it last year.
Yeah. So when I did that contract, when we did that deal, I mean, I did an employment contract. So even if I wanted to stop, I mean, I could, but I wouldn't. Like,
I see.
So I did like a 5-year deal.
That's part of your deal is you got to
Correct.
keep going.
Yep. But
that's
I
fine.
do love sports gambling.
Yeah.
Like that's what I tried to start Barstool with way back when. It
Right.
was supposed to be that. So it's something that, like if I rewound the clock and said, now I'm running part running this huge sports gambling company. I've been like, sign me up. How do I do that? That's what I always wanted to do in the first place.
What was it like meeting Trump?
It was surreal. That was,
And that just came in because his sons are fans of yours? Is that why? That's what I heard.
Well, I don't know. I can tell you what happened.
Tell me.
It was nearing the election, and I think he was aware that he was probably losing
Right.
and thought myself and my fans and people like that, it's like, let's try to get votes out of this.
Right.
And I got a call on Wednesday. Hey, Dave, do you want to go interview Trump in the Rose Garden tomorrow? Like, it was Wednesday, like the interview's Thursday. I was in Nantucket. I was like, whoa, what? Huh? I had no idea it was coming. It was just inbound.
Were you nervous?
I've never interviewed anybody, so I was very nervous. I also knew how.
Well, you have interviewed people.
No, not before that, really not.
Not before. Oh, there's before BFFs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a great interviewer, to be honest. And I also knew how just divisive he is, like, on both sides of the aisle. And I've always said with Barstool, like, we don't want to do politics. Like, you
Right.
can't, people just, no matter what you say, you're not going to change someone's opinion. And people either
We
get
had-
really mad or like you.
We had Biden. He wanted to come on Views.
So So when that happened, we reached right out to Biden.
Right.
We're like, we're interviewing Trump.
Oh, you want to do both?
Yeah. So
Good for
people,
you.
so people are going to say either side.
Right.
Biden didn't get back to us, so whatever. We didn't get to do
That's
that.
Smart.
But it was very nerve-wracking because they didn't let any of my people in the interview. Like, all the Barstool people were kept in a certain spot, and he had like 100 in a circle right around us. And even though the entire time leading up, when they asked, I was like, Dave is going to ask what Dave's going to ask.
Right.
Like, you have no say in it. You can't ask. And they're like, yup. And then when the interview started right before, like, you can't ask this, you can't ask this, you can't ask this. And they're all standing around. I didn't care what they said. And it was a softball. People are always like, you weren't asking hard questions. Like, I don't know politics.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't meant to be that.
Yeah, you're not Anderson Cooper.
Right. But it was surreal. He was super nice to me.
You're a guy that runs a sports gambling site.
He took me. So after the interview's over, he liked me, and
He looked like he liked you.
he's like, come here, let me show you this. And I walked over, and he took me into this little closet where it was like a gift shop, basically. And he's like, this is the Monica Lewinsky room. That's what he said. So it was surreal. The whole thing was, I'd never been to the White House. It was a crazy experience.
What's the White House like? Is it trashed? Is it like kind of
No,
old and decrepit, or is it nice?
You know, I'm kind of like into American history a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
So seeing all the old stuff was actually kind of cool. The blowback from it was kind of like exactly what I expected, though. People who don't like Trump, like, just started like calling me Hitler and shit online for just interviewing. It was kind of crazy. It's like the sitting president of the United States asked me to do an interview. Yeah. There's no sitting president ever that I would not do that with. You know, it's like 100%. It's a huge fucking honor.
Yeah, I agree.
But the country is so, I don't know, fucked up, and people, the brain's so broken with this shit. There was a lot of, I still think a lot of the hate I get now is because people view me as like interviewing him. And I think they view me, like, I did the Nelk podcast, and they're like always doing shit with Trump.
Super Republican.
But they don't get nearly like the backlash that I do for that one interview, because I don't think maybe it's the age thing. They view me, maybe as more like a serious thing. I don't know. It's interesting.
I think maybe your audience is like, you're getting a lot of the younger kids. That's who's pissed.
No, it's not the younger. It's generally the older. It's like crazy. It's just crazy. Like, like, if you're an extreme liberal person right now, like, you generally fucking hate my guts. I don't really know why, but they
really
do. Yeah.
Well, maybe I shouldn't be here.
Yeah. Are you? If
this
you're
is fucked up, should we?
Yeah. If you're an extreme liberal wingnut, you hate me.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's so fucked up. Like, my ex-wife, she has Hollywood. She's got all her friends and stuff. And the night Trump won, she was crying in my 10-year-old's arms. I was like,
yes.
I was like, what's going on? He hasn't done a day yet.
That's like my dad. My dad hates Trump more than like anybody in the world. I literally FaceTime my dad when I was interviewing him to be like, look who I'm with. And he froze like a pussy, and he couldn't ask a question. He literally just froze. And I'm telling you, he's like the extreme hater. But yeah, it's crazy. And I'm not like, again, I don't like the extreme left. I don't like the extreme right. I hate them both.
I want to be clear too. I don't like either side, but I think it's really fucked up when people say like, oh, if they voted Republican, they're bad people. And that's what it's come to. It's really messed up. It wasn't like that when we were younger,
no,
right?
And it's
even when Bush was in office, it was like, yeah, you're mad at Bush, but you don't hate the people that voted for him.
It's crazy. I like the move out of the country and stuff. My big thing with it, I hate how, like, you can generally know what somebody will answer any question if they just tell you they're like what If they're a Republican and Democrat, like you almost know the answer to the question before you ask it, which drives me nuts. People don't know my answers. Mine are all over. It's like I'm a libertarian, basically, like socially liberal, financially conservative. And I think 95% of the country is probably the same.
I agree. And you know what? I got to start having my answer right. What do I say? Libertarian?
I think, well,
if I'm doing this podcast, I have to say what I am.
You know, I mean, I generally don't.
Jess, what
People
am
know
I?
now.
Jess, what am I? I voted for Biden.
I would not vote for Biden, but it's like, what are you going to do?
It was tough to vote for Biden because he's so old.
He's very
You're
old.
like, what are we doing?
He's
The guy's
very
a mummy.
old.
And, you know, and I can say that because I get...
All politicians suck. I
agree.
firmly believe that.
Well, why
It's
would
like
you want
It's the old...
You would
like,
never run for president, right?
No, it's like
Fuck
the old...
that.
Have you ever seen Gladiator?
Of course.
When he's like...
I saw it in the Cinerama Dome.
I don't know
LA.
what that means. You know, he has a quote in it when he has to take over Rome, and he's like, you have to do it. He's like, I don't want to do it. He's like, that's why you have to do it. You're the only one who doesn't want the power. Anyone who's into that is like an egomaniac kind of crazy person.
Yeah, like why would Trump at that age want to run the country?
Yeah.
The oldest president we ever had.
I didn't know we were getting political.
Were you more nervous to interview Trump or Dixie D'Amelio?
Definitely Trump. I like Dixie, though.
She's great.
Yeah, I like both of them a lot. I've never done Charlie, but I like Dixie
They're
a
so
lot.
mean about those girls. One can dance and one can sing. What do you want? You want them to fucking
But that's...
solve world hunger?
No, but that's, I mean...
It's ridiculous. I'm sorry, Dave. These high noons are getting me a little salty.
Anybody who gets that famous that fast, though, it's like not unusual, really.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just like we have a new medium with the internet. Like before you couldn't do it, but paparazzi, whatever.
And they
people
hit it
always
over
take the-
COVID. All those kids hit it over COVID, right?
Yep, big
Bryce. Yeah, that's insane. This is watermelon lime, by the way, guys.
Just watermelon, no?
Oh, you're right. Dave, cancel culture. What do you think about it? Is it worth talking about here, or should we just keep drinking?
No, I mean, I people know how I feel about that for the most part.
I got canceled.
For what?
Oh, good. I'm glad you don't know.
The one thing with cancel culture, which I always say, like I know what's happened with me, and I can always speak to like what's happened to me because it's my story, and I know exactly kind of what's true and what's not. Other people, I have no idea. It's so
and I'm
hard
not
to,
interested in you know, digging into anything you don't want to talk about.
Oh, I don't care. Everything. I'm pretty open about my
Actually,
stuff.
I know you are.
So
Talk about
it's
it every
I
minute.
don't mind that.
I literally tuned into the Dave Portnoy show the other day, and they have like 5 topics right there, and I'm like, oh, here we go, Business Insider.
Well, yeah. I mean, I clearly don't like them. I'm suing them.
They'll dig you out.
Yeah, they do. They've talked to everybody that I'm ever connected to.
And they don't have any interest in like kind of
Yeah.
helping you.
Well, no, they definitely don't have interest in helping you. That's not their game plan. But they don't. I don't think have interest in the truth. But
I think what happened with David, yours came along a few months later, and I think we were all like, fuck, should have handled it like Portnoy.
that's what he said.
Everybody
to me.
said.
Right.
You know, fuck, we should have fucking handled it like Portnoy. We should have fucking said something. And yeah, it's over now. It's too late.
Yeah, I that's just my nature. Like, I mean,
That's awesome.
Anybody who's been following me for like
You-
as long as I'm doing, I don't. If you, I hit back. Like, if you come at me with a feather, I'll try to hit you with like a 2x4. That's kind of like just my nature. I'm combative. That may be a Boston thing, but and I have nothing to hide. Like, I think it's a lot. There's nowhere to dig on me. Like, everything about me, I say.
Right.
There's already out on the internet. I don't care. You can dig around forever. They're not going to find anything that I'm like trying to hide. So
Right.
it in that respect, it's a little, you know, it takes a weight off because like, I don't fucking care. You're going to come at me. I'm going to try to literally like ruin you for doing that.
Have you had people reach out to you saying like, Dave, thank you?
I've had a lot. One of the things I get a lot, I said it in another, and it's hard. I get people I feel like who have been canceled or accused of stuff who want to almost, I don't want to say latch themselves, but they do kind of want to latch
They
themselves
want
to
you
me.
to fight for them.
Yes, and it's like, listen, I don't know. Like, take the Elon thing. Like, I don't know what he did or what he didn't do.
Right.
I read the thing that Business Insider wrote on him. I think it's flimsy. I don't think that article should have been published yet with what they had, which was like a friend's account. The main person didn't come out, but I don't know. Maybe like if in 6 months more evidence comes out that he actually did the things he's accused of. Well, I don't want to be the one who's like, see, you're innocent. The issue I have and what I said, unfortunately, writers or publications like Business Insider, my knee-jerk reaction when the Elon stuff came out was like, oh, they're full of shit. And that shouldn't be the reaction if someone's making a claim. You want to believe who's making the claim.
Right.
But the intentions of Business Insider are so like nefarious in my mind. And I saw what they did to me, and I know they had nothing and did 2 articles to try to basically ruin my life. It's like my knee-jerk reaction is I don't believe what they're saying, and that's bad. Like, you should,
Right.
but that's a problem when you are trying people basically in the media for clicks and page views with no weight on the facts. Like, for my case, they posted, and I was accused of like basically sexual deviant shit, which is all untrue, but they were posting, if they had text exchange with like women, they were not posting the entire exchanges. They were literally like cherry picking, and there was no way for them not to have the entire exchanges. It just made no sense. The only way to do that is if you're trying to paint me as a criminal or a victim. And like, I mean, sometimes we're with my girlfriend, but like one of the girls, the major star witness in this story, like the one that's the #1 headline, and they've never said it, they've never recounted it. She literally, in Business, I was like, oh, she's keeping her name private because she's like doesn't want like repercussions or like fear.
Right.
Within 24 hours, she went public. She started OnlyFans. She came in the #1. She's a full-blown porn star. Not like Showtime, like, you know, R-rated. She's a full-time porn star, and literally used that publicity to launch her career. They've never said it once. It doesn't mean she's a liar, but if you take that context into everything I'm saying,
It's
there's not
opportunistic as
a
fuck.
rational person in the world who would be, she's like, I don't like being videotaped. It's like, you're a porn star.
Right.
Like, there's no one who would look at the mountain of evidence I have versus what they published and be like, they're telling the truth. It's never been once mentioned.
Well, it's tough too. It's like what you hear is like, you could take me and Jeff, right? And whatever you want to think about it. I know who Jeff is.
Yeah.
He knows who I am. We're both fucking grown men. It's like, at the end of the day, if I called Jeff right now and was like, hey man, I need fucking $10,000, bail me out of jail, he'd come.
Yeah.
I know he would. Maybe we're not talking right now, but like, that's the problem with the internet, is like, it's just this such insanity. Like, you keep saying the word rational. It doesn't exist. There's no rationality on
See,
it.
I feel like we a little different than like Vlog Squad LA. We never truly made content like that. Like, it was much more like we watch a game and we react to a game. It's not like
100%.
Like, I used to always say, one of my taglines, it's like brick by brick, not shtick by shtick. Like, we don't do bits. Like, I'm not a bit guy. I've never. So
right.
We have some in our company who are more, but I'm not.
No, because you're talking about sports, and there's such an audience for that. There's such an appetite for that.
Yeah, we're just,
what does Dave think? Is he going to pick the Rams?
Yeah.
I want to know.
Like, our big stunt was like, I go to jail
Whether
protesting
right.
like Tom Brady. Like, but that was kind of me, but exaggerated.
How is that when
Going
you got
to jail?
arrested? Yeah.
It sucked. It was jail.
How long were you in jail for? This was called Operation
Deflategate.
Deflategate.
So Tom Brady deflating the footballs somehow became like literally the #1 story in like the world. It was everywhere. You know, I'm a Patriot fan, diehard. So myself and 3 other guys, when he got suspended for 4 games, drove to we were in still Boston at the time, drove to New York for NFL headquarters, handcuffed ourselves to each other in the office of the commissioner, and we got thrown in jail.
Wait. Outside or in the office?
In the office. So
Lobby?
got charged with trespassing, yes. And we did a night in jail. We got arrested about 2 p.m. and got out like 12 the next day. We've been banned from, and then I got dragged out of the Super Bowl in handcuffs as well.
I saw that. Is that when you have the mustache on?
Yeah, and that was stemmed from that earlier incident. Like, we were
they were looking
banned
for you.
We're banned from all NFL things. So yeah,
What's jail like for a night?
terrible.
Did you eat?
They bring you food twice. It was one single patty McDonald's, nothing on it, and an orange, like the McDonald's orange.
Yeah.
So they bring that twice. There's like a little toilet,
Did you take a
no
shit?
toilet paper. I didn't. One of our guys did.
You shit right in front of you?
No, he was in a different cell.
Oh. Was there any lunatics in there?
Oh, there were a ton of lunatics.
Really?
The cops knew who we were.
Yeah.
And were doing their best because we're in like the New York City jail. So like murderers being brought in there. It was the real deal jail.
Yeah.
But the cops knew who we were and kept trying to move us so we wouldn't be with like the absolute like psychopaths. I mean, we were dressed in full Patriot gear. I had eye black, like a Tom Brady shirt on. It was like the judge saw us the next day and just like shook her head. She's like, get these guys out of here. Like you're wasting our time basically.
What's your favorite arena in the United States for any sport?
Probably, even though it's still uncomfortable, there's Fenway.
Fenway, yeah.
Like magical.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing to go to is Celtics games. I love. There's an NBA experience. Is like I'm lucky enough now that they treat us really well.
Yeah.
Like the Celtics were one of the first teams to do that. There's nothing like the way
I agree.
an NBA
There's nothing like seeing how big they
courtside
are
seats whew,
on the
best.
court.
The best perk ever.
Dave, take us through the genesis. You like that word?
Yeah, I don't know necessarily
Not
what
Phil
you
Collins'
mean by
Genesis.
It. Yeah, no, that's a great band. Like basically, how'd we grow?
Yeah, take me through the steps. Newspaper?
Newspaper.
Then what?
Then I met a guy. Basically, I was handing out the newspapers outside of Boston subway stations. I handed it to a guy who was like, he was moving. He's like, I'm moving from Boston to New York. If I build you a website, will you put the newspaper online? It's like, knock yourself out. Got very lucky. His name's Ian White. He was like, ended up being the CTO of all places of Business Insider at one point, long before. But he built it. He was talented. And the second we put the newspaper online, it's like, all right, this is the future. It's so much easier to grow. I don't have to do this paper route, for 48 hours every other week. And then it just grew in Boston. And around 2016 we expanded. So basically, back up, I hired somebody in New York, Philadelphia, Chicago. So it's like Barstool Boston, Barstool Philly, Barstool Chicago.
You had enough money to do that.
Yes. So in 2016, I was making more money than I ever dreamed I'd make myself. And I'm like, bought my house in Nantucket. I'm like, I'll die happy. I did what I want to do. I don't hate waking up, and I'm happy to do it. And then the opportunity came around with Chernin Group to invest in us, which they did. And we all moved to New York. And the concept in 2016 was the first like reality blog house. Like, let's let people just see how we create content. Mm-hmm. We're all under one roof. Let's do that. And 2016 is when we moved, and then it just exploded. We hired our first CEO, Erica Nardini, who's been great. Mm-hmm. She's still with us, and things just kind of took off with the business and the content, and we got into podcasting.
How many podcasts you have now?
I don't know. We've had like 15. And I always said I want Barstool to sort of be like, and it's different versions, like a SNL to a degree. Like, right. You have this core group, and you're going to build stars, and the stars may leave and go do other stuff, like an Alex Cooper is an example with Caller Daddy, or Pat McAfee. And, we'll keep the cast and keep going. So that's what we did. The podcast now, I don't know, we have maybe 20. We have like the number one golf podcast, number one hockey podcast, number one sports podcast, or men's Pardon My Take. Caller Daddy's gone, but like BFFs as well.
Oh, Caller Daddy's not with you? I thought
no, she got $60 million over 3 years from Spotify.
She went to Spotify. Yeah.
Good for her.
Good for her.
Yeah. She made
Happy
a killing.
for her.
Yep. So
she's good.
She's great.
She's been real inventive too with the podcast.
She'll
film herself like driving, then in bed, and then it's good.
So I saw her after.
Where'd you find her?
They filmed. She was dating Noah Syndergaard, Mets pitcher.
Okay.
So she was kind of known quantity a little bit, and I knew Noah. So I followed her on Instagram.
Right.
And I saw her cut a reel for Caller Daddy. And I was like, what the hell is that? So I reached out to her. I'm like, what is that? She's like, I'm starting a podcast. I'm like, well, do you want to do it here? She's like, I don't know. She came in, I met with her, and I was like, who made this? Who made your sizzle reel?
Right.
She's like, I did. I learned how to do it all myself. And I mean, it looked as professional, well, sizzle, like sharp. And once she said she learned how to do it herself, it's like, all right, you're hired if you want it. Like, we paid her $70,000, 3-year contract. She brought her partner in crime, Sophia Franklin, with her. So they each got $70,000, 3 years. And the thing it went nuclear in a month. Like, it just went crazy. And the thing was huge. I mean, I think I saw somewhere she was the first person to be like trending in like 6 different countries at once.
Wow.
Yeah, she's
what
a
is
monster.
it? What is it that she does that's so special?
Well, it was a unique concept. It was basically, as far as I know, online, the first two females talking about sex in ways that maybe girls talk about when guys aren't around. Like guys do it. Like you see it all the time, like a man show or even us. It's like locker room talk. There's locker room talk for girls. And they just threw it out there.
Do girls do that? Do you guys get real graphic? I never do that. You don't seem like somebody that would do that either.
No, but you tell like you just, it's like talking with the guys. I don't know if it's necessarily graphic. It was, I think, talking normally how like girls would talk when they're together. Yeah. And I mean, it just became huge. Literally, like everybody listened to it. And I can always tell with Barstool when something's taking off. Like when I go out, that's what people mention. Caller Daddy's merch was, showing up everywhere. I mean, she's a superstar. She's a monster, like and she still is. Yeah, she's pretty good. She had Julia Fox on. She gets every guest. Crazy. Yeah. How'd she get those guests? I think it's a combo of her. I mean, she had Emma Chamberlain. I don't think anybody gets Emma Chamberlain. She had Emma Chamberlain. She had, who's the girl on that, the show we watched? Yes. Stassi never does podcasts. No, she did the one that was that Anna Delvey. What? Yeah. Yeah, she gets everybody. How did she interview somebody in jail? She got Miley Cyrus. Wait, how do you get somebody in jail? She gets whoever she wants. I think it's a combo. She's seen as was it on Zoom? A female kind of empowerment, and like if you're a female, you go to her. It's like she's the female Oprah for this like generation, and then you put the Spotify muscle behind her. They have a lot of contacts, and she gets whoever she wants. There. Yeah. All right. Hey, how do I meet a nice girl, Dave? I don't know. I mean, you slid in the DMs. I did. I slid in her DMs. And it worked for you. It did. That's not something you would normally do. I never slide in DMs. Very rarely. I would probably never 10 in like 5 years. I did it once like 5 years ago, and the girl just said, absolutely not. No, no, no. That's tough. Yeah, I don't do it very often. No, after that, I would never do it again. Because it's like they screenshot it and put it everywhere. It's like, but also it's like I did when I was single use social media as like my dating. I wasn't on dating apps. I've never been on dating apps. I don't really like going out. I don't trust people. I went out. So it's like that's how I talk to people. Yeah. It's nice to have a girlfriend now, right? Yeah. You must love it. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to meet somebody. She can sometimes like get I'm kidding. What bothers you? No. What are we talking Phil here? I'm not that crazy. Yeah, hey Dave, nice why don't you tell me what bothers you about Silvana? Alex asked us to go on. It's like, are you fucking crazy? Why don't you go on? It's a big podcast. She's never been on BFFs. No? You don't want to open up the drama. That's what Brianna says. I saw Brianna in Vegas. And it was right after you talked shit about me, and which I love, by the way. Like, I fucking think you're the best. And I was like, hi, I'm Jason. She's like, yeah, I guess you kind of got shit on. I'm sorry. And I was like, oh, it's okay. I loved it. Yeah, I don't. I mean, You said I look like a grandmother. Yeah, in the video, right. It was in that video.
That guy's in the vlog squad.
Yep. Yeah, he's kind of like you, Dave.
No. Brie.
Yeah, exactly like you.
That guy could be my grandfather.
How old's Jason Nash? He's got to be the same age as...
No fucking way is that guy the same age as me.
Let's look it up. 48. So he's like 48. 3 years older than Dave.
Yikes.
Yeah, not even like that much older.
I look way better.
Jeez, we're at the Jason Nash roast right now.
Time out. I look more than 5 years younger than him, no?
Yeah, you do, man. Yeah.
Thank you. I gotta pull teeth to get a fucking compliment around here.
We're not just complimenting you. We're also like preying on this man's downfall.
I'm not shitting on it. I just thought that guy was in his 60s.
You just said he could be a grandfather.
I thought he was minimum 60.
And you know what? I went back and looked at it, and I was like, he's right. I do look estrogen heavy here.
Yeah, I remember the video. That's the thing about BFFs.
You don't have kids, man.
No, I don't.
Yeah, so that's a whole stress that you don't even know about. Are you going to have kids?
I mean, I can't answer that right now. Maybe.
Yeah. You want kids?
Yeah, if the person's right. I mean, like
shit.
I was just staring over. It's like, I don't know. Yes, probably.
It's the best thing I'll ever do. And believe me, I have a 16-year-old and a 13-year-old. They were asking me last night. It's fucking hell on earth, but it is the best thing. Because what will happen is you'll have like a mini you. And if you're lucky, in a girl form, walking around. It is the fucking best, Dave.
Okay, I'll take notes on that. Thanks. We'll see.
Has anyone else ever told you that?
That having kids is the best?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, most of my friends have kids.
What's stopping you?
You mean what's stopping me? We've been dating for a year. So it's
Oh,
like,
well, I'm just saying. Yeah, all right, sorry.
I'm not like running. I
Just made it really awkward.
I'm not on
It's
like
the high noons, Dave.
I'm not on like a hey, I need to have kids by this age or I'm fucked type thing.
Yeah, it's tough for
Like
women.
I like my life.
Oh, I can see. I can see. I thought I was gonna like inspire you.
Be like, oh my god, he said kids are the best. We gotta go have kids right now. No,
Guys, I guess that's it here. Thank you, Dave, for having us in Montauk.
what's your age demo? Can I ask you that? Who follows you?
I am.
Because the Vlog Squad's young, right?
I am 3 to 8 years old.
Yeah,
No, 18 to 24, and 24 to 35.
got it.
And you'd be surprised that they are a little.
Why don't you just say 18 to 35?
Because it's mostly 18 to
Got it.
24. Okay, guys. Dave, thank you so much for having us
No problem.
at your house in Montauk. This is incredible. I'm
Thank you.
never going to bother you again. You'll never hear from me again. And you always have a friend. If you need anything, you let me know. If you want me to come on BFFs and tell you about Trisha Paytas.
I asked you on. BFFs.
I know, and I wanted to get this going first.
Got it.
So then when I came on, it'd be like, oh, he's actually doing something. Not like,
Got
here's
it.
the washed up guy
Yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
Views that doesn't do anything anymore.
Okay.
So
Got
now
it.
when I come on, I can be like, go to my website, Nash Nation, come check out my podcast with Dave Portnoy. But I'll tell you everything you want to know about Trisha Paytas. She's a lovely girl.
It's
Absolutely.
your ex-wife.
That's my ex-girlfriend. My ex-wife is great.
Ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, my ex-wife is great.
She hates me. At least that's what she says.
Trisha?
That's what she says.
Why?
No idea. We did a podcast with her.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, oh yeah.
How was that?
I thought she was nuts. But I mean, I was just saying it straight down the middle. And somehow she came out of it where she's like, I love Josh, but hate Dave. But we were saying the same things. I just think it's because she thought Josh was like hot. It's like we literally were saying the same thing. She's like, I hate him, but I like him. It's like, I think that's
that's what she does. You want to hear about it?
if you want to tell me, I mean, fine. It's your podcast.
How do you even start?
All right.
We'll save that for next time, Dave.
All right, perfect.
All right.
BFFs.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. You're the best, man. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Yeah.
And guys, go get High Noon.
Yes, they're the best.
I've had every flavor. They're incredible.